Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Everybody have a seat. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, well, we give thanks for this day that the Lord has made. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the White House. It is wonderful to see so many friends from all across the country. My first concern was whether you actually got something to eat. Sometimes prayer breakfasts are advertised, and then you get there and there's like a little muffin, a couple of berries. Yeah. And though your soul may be nourished, you leave hungry. So I hope that is not happening here. I want to thank everybody here for their prayers, which means so much to me and Michelle, particularly at a time when my daughters are starting to grow up and starting to go on college visits. I need prayer. I start tearing up in the middle of the day, and I can't explain it. Why am I so sad? They're leaving me. I want to thank everybody here for the wonderful work that you do all across the country with your remarkable ministries. We hold this Easter prayer breakfast every year to take a moment from our hectic lives for some fellowship, friendship, prayer, and reflection. And I know pastors here have had a very busy Holy Week, and so for you to travel here and take the time to spend with us is extraordinary after what I know is difficult. I can't say that our work during this season is comparable, but you should try dealing with thousands of people in your backyard on an Easter egg roll. After that, you need quiet reflection. Particularly because I had some of my nephews who 6 and 4 in my house all weekend. And you need quiet reflection after that. Girls are different than boys. This morning, we also remember a man of God who we lost this weekend. A man known and loved by many of you, the Dean of American Preaching. Dr. Gardner C. Taylor. Anybody who had the privilege of hearing him speak knows what power he had. He was a civil rights hero. He was a friend to Dr. King, who used his spellbinding sermons to spread the gospel and open people's hearts and minds. He taught and mentored countless young ministers. So as we mourn his absence today, we also take solace knowing that he leaves a living legacy and that he is in a better place. I am no preacher. I can't tell anything to this crowd about Easter that you don't already know. I can offer just a couple of reflections very quickly before we begin the program. For me, the celebration of Easter puts our earthly concerns into perspective. With humility and with awe, we give thanks to the extraordinary sacrifice of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Reflect on the brutal pain that he suffered, the scorn that he absorbed, the sins that he bore, this extraordinary gift of salvation that he gave to us. And we try as best we can to comprehend the darkness that he endured so that we might receive God's light. And yet, even as we grapple with the sheer enormity of Jesus' sacrifice, on Easter we can't lose sight of the fact that the story didn't end on Friday. Amen. The story keeps on going. On Sunday comes the glorious resurrection of our Savior. Good Friday may occupy the throne for a day, Dr. King once preached. But ultimately, it must give way to the triumphant beat of the drums of Easter. Drums that beat the rhythm of renewal and redemption, goodness and grace, hope and love. Easter is our affirmation that there are better days ahead. And also a reminder that it is on us, the living, to make them so. Through God's mercy, Peter the Apostle said, "We are given an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you." It's an inheritance that calls on us to be better, to love more deeply, to serve the least of these as an expression of Christ's love here on earth. It's the spirit we feel in the example of His Holiness, Pope Francis, who encourages us to seek peace, serve the marginalized, and be good stewards of God's creation. Like millions of Americans, I'm honored that we will be welcoming him to our country later this year. I want to quote him. He says that we should strive to see the Lord in every excluded person who is thirsty, hungry, naked. To see the Lord present even in those who have lost their faith, in the imprisoned, sick, unemployed, persecuted. To see the Lord in the leper, whether in body or soul, who encounters discrimination. Isn't that how Jesus lived? Isn't that how He loved? Embracing those who were different, serving the marginalized, humbling Himself to the last. This is the example that we are called to follow. To love Him with all our hearts and mind and soul, and to love our neighbors, and all our neighbors, as ourselves. As it says in the first letter of John, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. On Easter, I do reflect on the fact that as a Christian, I am supposed to love. And I have to say that sometimes when I listen to less than loving expressions by Christians, I get concerned. But that's a topic for another day. Where there is injustice, I was about to veer off. I'm pulling it back. Where there is injustice, we defend the oppressed. Where there is disagreement, we treat each other with compassion and respect. Where there are differences, we find strength in our common humanity, knowing that we are all children of God. So today we celebrate the magnificent glory of our risen Savior. I pray that we will live up to His example. I pray that I will live up to His example. I fall short so often. Every day, I try to do better. I pray that we will be strengthened by His eternal love. I pray that we will be worthy of His many blessings. With that, I'd like to invite Reverend Dr. Amy Butler to offer our opening prayer.